said, I think, is well encapsulated in the MMT doctrine. What about what I just said doesn't make much sense?
I think it makes total sense, honestly. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. Where's the evidence that this can be implemented in this?
But where's the evidence?
Like, very targeted. Like, I think, like, people criticize, I think, the way that we kind of just fire hose stuff out, or like interest rate changes. Interest rate changes are a hugely blunt instrument, but the reason that I think the government does these big blunt policies is because the government just isn't that great at doing very targeted, precise things. And they're, they can't pick the winners. And so they kind of just say, look, you get a low interest rate, you get a low interest rate. Everybody gets a low interest rate, and how it filters through, it just.
But they have picked the winners, right? They picked the winners to be those with capital.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff ultimately, I think. I mean, I don't know how, like I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday about, like, how do you do all of this stuff in a way that, like, if you have a hyper hot economy that you need to kind of run some sort of like counter-cyclical policy against to try to dampen demand, how do you dampen demand without hurting people in the middle class, for instance? The middle class is they're the big consumers, basically. They're the people with the highest marginal propensity to spend. You can't, implementing a wealth tax, for instance, on, guys like Bezos and Elon, they don't like that stuff, but they don't really give a shit about it because it's not really going to change their life that much. It might change, their multi-generational estate plan or something silly like that. But like, they're not going to suddenly like peel back demand enough that like, it's going to make a really big, meaningful impact on aggregate demand. And so, how do you do this stuff in a way where you target it, but it doesn't hurt the people that really like kind of can't afford to be hurt? And I don't know.
Cullen, who is the middle class? Like, the middle class are the teachers, the doctors, the people, the factory workers. Like, you're creating demand for, like, infrastructure projects creates demand for engineers, construction workers, some, truck drivers. A single payer healthcare creates massive demand for new nursing staff, new physicians, new orderlies. Like, there's lots of different ways that you can spend it into the economy. Let me put it a different way, that you can invest in the people and infrastructure in an economy that benefits the middle class.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, like, I've actually, God, I mean, a lot of people think of me as like a, money printing fiend, because for basically like, God, almost probably 10 years coming out of the financial crisis, I was like, the deficit is way too small. And that was my big message coming out of the financial crisis, was that I basically was saying QE, and this was the lesson from coup, basically. QE is not going to fix this. All the stuff that monetary policy is doing is not going to fix this. You need to run big deficits. And that to me was like, that was the big lesson from reading, the Holy Grail and talking to Coup and all those guys. And so, like, for years I was like, this is like running a big infrastructure program in the United States. A total no brainer. So
So there's a lot of comments in
the joking around that we were going to fight on this video. And
no, I know we're violent agreement instead.